guys, it's Jasma and today we're making Margaret Biscuits. Margaret Biscuits is kind of like shortbread. It is very soft and it also melts your mouth, but it has cooked egg yolks in it, so it kind of have a different flavor from other types of cookies. It is very simple to make and it is absolutely delicious. So let's get started. For the ingredients you will need 100 grams of all-purpose flour, 100 grams of cornstarch, 60 grams of icing sugar, also known as powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar, 100 grams of softened butter at room temperature, 2 cooked egg yolks that is separated from the egg whites, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. Starting off, we are going to hard boil our eggs so we could use the egg yolks. So I have a pot here and I'm going to fill it with some water. Place the eggs in the pot and just add enough water so it covers the eggs. And now we're ready to boil it. Turn it on high heat until the water boils, and then turn off the heat. It's been 6 minutes and my water is boiling, so now I'm just going to turn off the heat and keep the eggs in the pot for about 20 minutes and then it's ready. The eggs has been in the hot water for 20 minutes with the heat off. And doing this will make sure that the eggs don't, the shell doesn't break, and it also ensures that it's easier to peel later on. I'm going to take the eggs out into another bowl, and then you could just get rid of the water in the pot. And soak it in cold water immediately until it starts to cool. The eggs have cooled, so now I'm just going to pour away the cold water, and then we could peel the eggs. It should be very easy to peel since we soaked it in cold water. And there you go. Now we can separate the egg whites and the egg yolks. Once I have my cooked egg yolks separated from the cooked egg whites, I have a sieve here and I'm just going to pass these through the sieve so it's nice and finely mashed. You really want to take the time to push the egg yolks through the sieve because if you just mash it up with a fork, you will have really big lumps of egg yolks in your final biscuit and you don't want that. Once all the egg yolks are pushed through the sieve, set it aside and grab another big bowl. And now we're going to sift together the all-purpose flour and the cornstarch. Once the cornstarch and flour are sifted, mix it together so it's nice and combined. Set it aside and now we're ready to work on our butter mixture. In another big bowl, add in the butter, and you want to make sure this is nice and soft. It's going to make it easier to mix. I'm doing this by hand today, but you could obviously use any mixer you want. You could use a hand mixer or a stand mixer. Then add in the icing sugar. And the salt. Then mix this until it is nice and pale in color and it is nice and fluffy. And again, you can use a hand mixer because it would be quite a workout when you do it by hand. Start mixing slow because if you mix it really fast, you're going to get a lot of powdered sugar or icing sugar in your face. I'm going to scrape the sides of the bowl so that the icing sugar is all mixed in with the butter. Can see it's already getting pale white and fluffy. And again, this is quite a workout if you're doing it by hand. This is pale and fluffy. We basically just made buttercream by hand, but now we're going to turn it into a cookie. So we're going to add the sifted egg yolks into the butter mixture and then mix it through. Don't forget to scrape down the sides because there might be some egg yolks that you didn't get in the butter. And just keep mixing. The egg yolks are mixed in. As you can see, there are no huge lumps of egg yolks. So now we could start incorporating this into the flour mixture. Add half of the flour mixture into the butter mixture and mix it through with a spatula, and then we could start kneading it by hand. And again, start slow because you don't want flour in your face. The first half was mixed in. It looked like a thick paste, and I added in the other half of the dry ingredients. I'm going to mix it in as much as I can with the spatula, and then we can start kneading it by hand. I have mixed it in by hand until it is nice and crumbly, so now I'm ready to start kneading it. Get your hands clean, and I have a clean cutting board here. I'm just going to flip all of my cookie dough, crumbly cookie dough onto the board. And just work it with your hands until it forms a ball of dough. Try to squeeze it with your hands because that's the only way you make sure it doesn't fall apart and just crumble up again. Flatten the dough between your hands. This is going to soften up the butter and it will make it easier to form it into a dough. My dough has come together into a ball, so now just form it so it's nice and round, and then we are ready to chill it. Once you've formed a disc, prepare a sheet of plastic wrap and just cover up the dough. Once you got the dough wrapped, just chill it in the fridge for at least 1 hour until it is nice and hard. The dough has chilled for 1 hour. It's really nice and hard. I'm just shaping it into a square, and you want to make the corners of the dough really nice and sharp because if it is rounded and when we cut it, it would be smaller than the other biscuits and it wouldn't bake evenly. So you just want to make sure that it is nice and sharp. And now we are ready to start cutting it. To cut 25 equal pieces, you want to cut 4 cuts across and vertically to come out to 25 equal pieces. Once I cut 25 pieces, I'm going to roll each one into a ball. If the dough crumbles in your hand, just squish it together and then roll it up. Once all of the dough is rolled out, you want to place them onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and you don't have to leave too much space in between each biscuit because they don't exactly spread too much, but they kind of rise up a little, so you still want to leave a little bit of space in between each one. Now we are ready to start pressing it. You could press these biscuits with a fork, but the traditional Margaret biscuits are pressed with your fingers. You could use one finger or two fingers to press them. Just try to press them a little harder because they will rise up. And if you leave too light of an indent, it won't show after it bakes. And the sides of the biscuit will crack when you press it, so don't try to fix that when you cook it because that's how it's supposed to look. And like I said, it will crack on the edges. You don't have to try to fix that so it's a perfect round because it's how it's supposed to look. And again, like I said, try not to leave too light of an indentation because it wouldn't show after it cooks. Now place them into the oven preheated at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. And you want to flip the tray over midway as it cooks for about 7 to 8 minutes so that it browns evenly on the top. The Margaret Biscuits has baked for 15 minutes, and I rotated the tray midway when it baked for about 7 minutes. And you know it's done because it's golden brown on the top and you can lift it right off the paper. Make Margaret Biscuits. These are very simple to make. They are very soft. They melt right in your mouth. It's kind of like shortbread, but it has a different flavor since there are cooked egg yolks in it. It would make a perfect gift because it looks kind of like a handmade cookie, and it is also very delicious. So thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye!